friends, welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway. Here I live with my husband and our 3 boys, and this is my little corner of the internet where I talk about knitting and yarn, what I'm working on. And if you love yarn and knitting as much as I do, I hope that you have time to sit down, find your craft, find something good to drink, and let's just have some fun and talk about the best hobby in the world. I will have information about everything I talk about in the description box below, and of course I will have timestamps on the episode, so it's easy for you to skip to the parts you want to see and skip the parts you don't, or the parts you're not interested in. Yes. And I have tried to start this episode like 10 times now, so now we're just going to fire away. Today it's a really rainy day here in the south of Norway. We have had some beautiful weather the last few weeks. It's been sunny, it's been warm, it's been around 22 degrees Celsius, which is very nice here in Norway in the spring. So I hope it's not the summer that has been now and that it's over. That can happen. And we will have a cold and wet summer. I hope not. But it's nice to have some rain as well. And today it's really coming down, pouring down, and it's lightning and thunder. And it's very cozy to stay inside and knit, drink coffee. So that is what I'm going to do. But first, I really want to talk to you guys about what I've been up to since the last episode. I can start to talk about what I'm wearing. It's a finished FO since the last episode, and it's the Lacecap tee by Isabella Clark, also known as 100 Acre Wool on YouTube and Instagram. And this is a top that is knitted with the unspun yarn. So I have used Hillesvåg for garn in 2 different colors, and this is my first time knitting with unspun yarn, which is exciting. This was a gift from a podcaster friend, and I was so excited to try it. I've heard a lot about unspun yarn, so I was a little bit afraid about how this would go, because the unspun yarn comes in these cakes, 200 grams cakes, and I just made these balls to make it easier to knit with. But when I made these balls of yarn, it really came undone several times. It rips easily. Fortunately, it's easy to put it back together with split splicing or using some water or something. So I had to do that a lot when I made these balls. But luckily, when I started to knit with it, it wasn't that hard. It didn't come apart that often. So that's good. So it wasn't so scary to knit with after all. I have knitted the size 2 on needles 5.5 millimeters, US 9. And this is knitted bottom up, which is not a favorite of mine. And I think it's really difficult to decide how long I have to knit the body before I start on the front and back to get the right length. I feel like that is much easier when you knit top down to adjust the length. So when the pattern told me to stop and start for the front and back, I felt that the body looked a little bit short. So I made another repeat of the stripes and this yarn over motif. I could maybe have just done as it said in the pattern, because it's not too long for me. It is an okay length, but when I want to have it over a dress, for example, or use it with a skirt, it's a little bit long. But oh well, it is what it is. I made that choice, so I can live with that. But I really enjoyed this pattern. It was very easy to learn the repeats. I did a lot of mistakes though, but that's on me, because I should have put stitch markers in between the repeats to make it easy, but I didn't. So I had to rip back a few times, and then I really ripped the yarn often. But not when I knitted, then it was fine. But all in all, a very nice pattern. You knit bottom up, and then you knit the fronts separately. You knit one side, the other side, and then the back side. And I think it's a 3 needle bind off you do on these arms or the shoulders. It's very nice and easy. There's nothing much to say other than I'm not too happy about the arms here. Maybe it's because I dried this this flat. When I washed it, I dried it flat, and of course you will get this kind of look on your sweater when you dry it flat. But I think maybe also it's a little much fabric here. I don't know what I could have done with that. Maybe I could have knitted the back a bit shorter. I'm not sure, because you have this kind of dropped shoulder thing here. I'm not sure what I could have done to avoid this. It's a little bit too much of a fabric, and now I feel like it stands like out. But maybe I can try to steam this, and maybe it will look better. I don't know, but it's not a big issue. I'm happy with this, and I'm going to wear it and love it. It weighs 191 grams, and I was afraid I didn't have enough yarn, but I did. I have a lot left. I'm not sure if I can show it even to you guys. Woo! Yep, here it comes. So I have a lot left, so I think it's going to be maybe some hats out of this. I have a very nice hat pattern from Hannah in Herb Garden Knitwear that is made for unspun yarn, so maybe I'm gonna knit a couple of those. But it was fun to try unspun yarn. I like it. It was a little bit difficult to sew in ends. There wasn't a lot of ends to sew in because, of course, you can split splice when you change yarn balls, so that is very nice. But there was a few ends, and all of them just ripped when I tried to sew in the ends, so that was a little bit frustrating. But all in all, I really enjoyed this project, and it was a lot of fun to try, and I really like this design. It's beautiful. Highly recommend this pattern, and yeah, very nice. I like it. Okay, let's talk about some socks. I showed you guys this last time, so yeah, now they are done. The Girlander Socks by Gunn Irene Simensen. Try to hold them a little bit. As you can see, I haven't alternated the skeins. This yarn is from Through the Wardrobe yarn. It's the color Aslan's Mane. And there are probably two different dye lots here, or it's dyed at a separate time. So it's a bit darker than this, and that is not an issue for me. These are socks and I don't mind. Yeah, it's a great pattern, sadly only in Norwegian. Girlander is garland in English, so these are the garlands. Very nice. They are a bit too big for me. I won't say the stitch counts since it is a paid pattern, but I think the next time I will omit one of the what's it called again? Repeats. I will omit one repeat, I think, to go down a little bit on the size to make them fit my foot. But I can give this to someone else, or I can use them. It's okay if they don't fit perfectly. They fit in the length, but they're a bit too big, and you see that on this sock blocker that is my size, that it's like too much fabric here. But that's okay. I'm a loose knitter. I'm sure I'm not on gauge. I haven't checked, but I hardly ever get gauge, so that's on me. But very nice pair of socks, and I love this color. Now I have nothing left. This was scraps after a summer top and after a shawl, so now I have nothing left, which is good. I'm happy to use all of the yarn. I had some leftover yarn from another project, another summer top that I knitted last year, and it's Rauma Pellini, which is 50% cotton and 50% linen. And I decided to, it was more than scraps, it was almost 4 balls of white and 1.5 ball of green. So enough for a summer top, and I have knitted the Hipp Strikka Tee by Mamma Laget. It has this beautiful lace in the raglan and stripes. And this is knitted in Rauma Pellini, as I said, and I knitted the size C on needles 2 and 3 millimeters, US 0 and 2.5. Yes. And I am mostly happy with how this turned out. This pattern is in English, even though the designer is in Norwegian, or is Norwegian. Yes. There's not much to say other than I had split for sleeves on this top. It's knitted top down, and I wanted to try it on. And if I still have the picture, I can show you how that went. I didn't get this tee over my head. I had just cast on too tightly, and I didn't get it over. So that was kind of annoying. And I had to just put in a needle, cut off the top of the or cut off the collar, and I just had to knit the collar, new collar on, a new neck. So that is on me. I cast off on too tightly, and now it fits fine. So that's good, but it was kind of annoying. And there are short rows in the back, and I just knit terribly loose, so you can see that I should have gone down a little bit on the needle when I knitted on the purl side, but that is not much to do about that. It is what it is. But all in all, it's a very nice, easy summer tee. And I think it will be a nice t-shirt to wear just at home. And yeah, it's easy to just throw on when I need something simple to wear. I think it looks great. And it fits me very nice. So I'm very happy with that as well. It weighs, I think it weighs 266 grams if I remember correctly. And of course the information is always beside here. So you can see if you're interested. So that is more yarn from my stash that is used up, because I used all of the white and I have a little bit of the green left, but it's not much. So I think it just will go into some scrap dishcloth or something like that, and I will use it all. So that was that. I have also, before I started to knit, I was an eager crocheter, love to crochet, and I haven't done that in several years. I think maybe, have I done some small projects maybe with the crochet hook, but I can't remember. It's been a while. But then at Christmas, I watched the Crazy Sock Lady, Kay, and she crocheted some very nice pot holders for gifts. And I thought they looked very neat and easy to make. So I really wanted to try them, but I never did. But then suddenly I got the urge to just do it. And it's a free pattern. It's called Bev's Turn on Itself Pot Holder. It's by Beverly Qualheim. You can find the link to the free pattern on Ravelry. The free pattern is not on Ravelry, but it takes you to another website where you can find it. And it's a very easy single, is it called single crochet? I think so. I try to remember the terms, but it's very easy anyway. If you know how to crochet, I guess it's called single crochet, then you know, then you will have no problem doing this. So here is one, I have two, and I have three. They are wet because I just decided yesterday evening that I wanted to wash them, so they are still really damp, but here they are. And they are so great because you start with, I think I made like a chain of 35 stitches, and then you just do single crochet, and then you do single crochet on the other side, and you just do this round and round and round, and it just folds in on itself, like it says, turn on itself. And then you can just sew together this line in the middle here. And it's a very nice pot holder. You can just have it where it's nice in your hand, and you can just take out whatever you need from the oven, for example, without burning your hand. So it's very nice. I really like this. I'm going to make more of these for gifts, and I also make some things for what do we call them? Like we have some fundraisers at our church that and we need prizes, so I often make things for prizes. So I think this can be nice for a little prize. A couple of those pot holders. I've knitted in Drops Saffron. This is 3 strands of yarn held together. It's in the color 57 mauve, 68 coffee, and 21 beige. I hold 3 strands of yarn together. I think 2 is enough because they get really thick, because they are like double. So I think 2 strands is enough. This is quite thick, so I used the hook 5 millimeters. I think it's the hook size H. And I did another one. It's a bit smaller. I think this is 35 stitches and this is maybe 28 because I wanted to use the rest of the yarn. This is a little bit small. So this, yeah, but it's okay. And then I tried with only 2 strands of yarn. This is also Drop Saffron in the color Lemon, number 62, together with the Off-White, number 11 from Søstrene Grene. It's their cotton yarn. On hook size 4.5 millimeters. And I couldn't find the size in the letter. Like, I don't know if that's the US terms on the hooks or what, but I couldn't find out what it was. But 4.5 millimeter needle hook. Yes, so this is only 2 strands of yarn, and I think that's enough. It's a little bit easier to hold because it's not as thick. But I will try it out to check that I don't burn myself when I use this. So I'm sure it's safe to use on hot things. But that was a lot of fun, and it goes by so fast to crochet one of those. And you make it as big or as small as you want. I think I like this size the best, which was 35. This is also 35 stitches, but it's only 2 strands of yarn, so I guess that's what's made it a little bit smaller. So yes, I highly recommend if you like to crochet. Perfect little gift to give. Yeah, I can't remember what they weigh, but you can see it here. And then I have only one more thing, or not only, it was more than enough finished things, but I have one very big project done, which I'm very pleased to say is done. It's been in the works for 2 years almost. I started this in September 2022. Ta-da! It's so big, I have to put in a picture, but it's my Cozy Memories blanket, and I am done. I just got the urge to finish this, and so I knit, I think, how many in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it was about 14 squares, and I did the rest of the border, and it was done. I just knitted on because I wanted to have it done. I do like to knit those squares. I find it really enjoyable, but I was kind of like, I want some new blankets to knit on, so I just want to finish this. This is just scraps, mostly sock yarn in fingering weights held double, and some DK yarn, and it's Drop Snor. The black one is Drop Snor held double, and yeah, I think this is so much fun. Because there are so many memories in here from other projects that I have done, and it's a lot of advent yarn in here as well. Yarn that I've dyed myself is in here, so yeah, a lot of good memories in this blanket. I have knitted this on 3.5 millimeter needles, US 4. It weighs 1,107 grams. Which will be wonderful for my summary for yarn out in May. So that's nice. And I have used the tutorial from Ina Knits. I can link it below. It's a very nice, easy tutorial. I think it's called Mighty Squares with a Border or something like that. Highly recommend. Yes, so I'm so happy that my 2-year in the works blanket is done, and I can move on to a new blanket. Works in progress. I will go on a trip in a few days that I will talk more about later, but in that regard, I need some easy projects to bring. So one of these I showed you last time, it's the Laurie Cardigan, and I will try to find the right project bag. The Laurie Cardigan in my cute owl bag from Strikkekraft. The Laurie Cardigan is by Anneliese Knitwear Design. She has designed this for Hobby, so you can find it free on Hobby's website. It's just a very easy cardigan. I am knitting this in drops brushed alpaca silk in the color Curry number 19. It's on needles 6 and 8 millimeters, US 10 and 11. And I'm not sure where I was last time when I showed it to you, so maybe there is no progress since last time. I can't remember. Had I slit for sleeves last time? I don't know. I haven't checked what I did last time, but I can show it to you one more time anyway. It's like this. It's just a very easy raglan construction, and now I only knit back and forth as long as I feel like, and its arms. It's a very light, fluffy cloud that I can have over a summer dress or a summer top or something. So that was my goal, and this yarn I've had in my stash for such a long time, so I'm happy to use it now. And now I'm just saving this for my trip. It's only stockinette now, or stockinette and pearls on the back. I knit back and forth, so there's quite a bit of purling as well. But this is a very easy and nice project to have when you talk to people and sitting on the bus, and yeah, that's nice. Is there more to say? I can't remember the size I'm knitting, but I will share more about that when I am either still working on it next time, or maybe it's done. We'll see. All right, guys, I have to see on the next side in my notes here. I have also cast on another summer tee, that is the Talulah Tee from Herb Garden Knitwear, and I am using the most beautiful yarn from Through the Wardrobe Yarn in her Regency Romance DK base in this beautiful color, and this is just such a mess. This beautiful, beautiful color. It's called Shall We Promenade. It's a really icy blue, some purple, some light pink, and it's so shiny because it's 50% merino and 50% silk. So it's so shiny and beautiful. So soft and lovely. So I'm excited to get a summer tee out of this. And I haven't done much yet, as you can see, because this is also something that I want to bring for my trip. So that's why I'm saving it for that. But this is how far I have come. It's knitted bottom up, and it has this nice little motif that is like looks like stripes, and if you have seen the Talulah Tee, you know what I mean. Yeah, so this will be like stripes on the body. Very excited to knit more on this. It's not much to show right now, but I am knitting the size 5 on needles 3 and 3.5 millimeters, US 2.5 and 4. And I will share more about it when I have something more to show you. But this will be with me on my trip. But I don't think 2 projects is enough. I'm sure I will be able to knit so much when I'm on that trip. So I have cast on one more thing that is easy to bring. And that is another Oslo hat by Petite Knit, of course. Because a Oslo hat is just stockinette forever and ever. So that is a very easy knit to bring. So I have knitted this hat once before in the same colors, but I felt that it was a little bit too big for me. And since I have enough yarn, I want to try and knit one more that maybe fits me better. So I'm knitting in Filcolana. I feel like I'm so long away from the camera today. I'm knitting in Filcolana Arvetta in the color 136 mustard, together with Sanne's Tynn Silk Mohair that I have dyed myself. This was a color I didn't like, pale yellow color, so I just dyed it myself, and I feel like these two match really well together. So I've just cast on and just knitted a few rows, and this will be with me on my trip as well. It's the child size that I'm knitting now, because again, I'm a loose knitter, so I'm just trying to knit the smallest size. I think it's the smallest size, to see if I fit that better, and I want to knit it a little bit shorter because I don't like it when it's too baggy. So that's my plan, on 3.5mm needles, US 4. So that is also coming with me. Yes, and because I can't knit on these 3 projects right now because I want to save them, I had to cast on something new, of course, that I can knit on now before I go. So I decided to cast on another pair of socks from this beautiful book, Charming Colorwork Socks by Stone Knits. And since I love coffee so much, I decided that I wanted to knit the coffee break socks. So I'm doing that. I'm done with one sock. I'm knitting in Sanne's Sisu that I have dyed myself, and this is my first sock. And I'm knitting the size 2 on US 2, no, not US, on 2.25mm needles and 2.5mm needles, and that is US 1 and US 1.5. They are also too big. Like these socks here, these are also too big. I decided to knit the size 2 because I was so afraid that this color work would be too tight around my ankle and that I wouldn't get it over my okay, here. I'm not sure what you call that part in English. In Norwegian it's called wrist. But I see that I could just have knitted the size 1 because I repeat myself all the time, but I knit loose. So this is not on gauge, I'm sure. I haven't checked, but I'm sure this is not the right gauge. So next time I want to knit these socks again. 2 reasons. It's too big, and the Sanne's Sisu is a little bit thicker than fingering weight sock yarn like this. So I want to get some fingering yarn, hand-dyed if I can, to knit these again. And actually it's a third reason I want to knit these again, because also the Sanne's Sisu feels a little bit more fluffy, a little bit poofy, kind of. I feel like it's not very even and nice in the color work. So I hope that maybe some fingering sock yarn will be better, and it's differently spun, I guess. So yeah, we'll see. And also the yarn that I have chosen to use here is like the brown here. It's a little bit bad contrast because I think it's a little bit of brown in this colorway. So when I knit the brown, it's sometimes there comes some brown from the main color as well, and you won't see the details as clearly. You can see on the other side, it's not as easy to see the coffee cups with the handles, but it's a little bit easier on this side, I think. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I really want to try and knit them again, and then in a smaller size and with some yarn that is not a darker brown maybe, and a lighter main color. But if I can say so myself, I really like this color here. I think it's really nice. Yeah, so I will knit it the second one as well. I've cast it on and I'm almost done with the color work. So I'm excited to have this finished, and maybe I will just gift this for someone else who has a little bit bigger feet than me. So that's not a problem. Yeah, that's everything I had to say about this, but I so enjoy knitting these socks from Stone Knits. I think it's so much fun. So I am so excited to knit more of the patterns in this book. Yes. Okay. I have a few more things on my needle, because after I was done with the Cozy Memories blanket, I was very eager to cast on another blanket, actually 2 other blankets, inspired again by the Kay, the Crazy Sock Lady. She has several different scrap blankets going, and I think she has she's using her scraps for one blanket, and when she has some scraps left from that blanket, she uses it in another blanket, and so on. And I feel like that's a great way to get rid of my scraps. So I wanted to do the same. So in here, I have the Zigzag Zen blanket from Anina Yuti. And I was so eager to start this blanket, and you need a main color together with your scraps, so you don't need to, but I wanted to have one solid color throughout the blanket. So I found some balls of Dropslima that I had left from a dress that I knitted earlier this year, and I decided to use that. I think in the pattern it says to use fingering held double, but Dropslima is like a DK, so I felt like that could work. And then I only use scraps for the other stuff, for the other parts, in fingering held double. So this is how far I have come. Not far, but the problem is now that I wanted to order some more of this Dropslima, because I only had 2 balls of it, or almost 2 balls. But I can't find this color anywhere. Maybe it's discontinued, because I bought it in the beginning of the year, I believe. So maybe during the last months it's been discontinued. I don't know. So since I wasn't a very big fan of this color as the main color together with these fingerings yarn, then I decided to order another yarn in another color. So I have ordered Drops Flora in a beige color, I think. And I will hold that double, and I will rip this back and start again. I got a message today from the post that they had delivered my package in my mailbox during the night. And 1 hour after I got the text message, I went to the mailbox. There is no package there. Oh, that's typical. So either they have delivered the package to the wrong address, or someone has stolen the package during the hours it's been in my mailbox. So that's very annoying. So I have written a complaint to the post and they have said that they will look into it. So hopefully my yarn will come. I also ordered some yarn for a sweater I'm going to knit for my sister. So I hope that my yarn turns up, hopefully during this day, or that I get my money back somehow. I don't think I do, because the post is like, when they have delivered the package, it's no longer their problem. It's my problem. And since they deliver the package during the night when I'm asleep, yeah. And I was so fast. I was 1 hour after I got the message, because I was asleep when I got the message. They sent it around 6 o'clock this morning. So as fast as I could after I went out of bed, I went to the mailbox. But we'll see. Hopefully everything will be okay. But I'm going to knit this blanket in another main color and these scraps, and we'll see. And I have some scraps in my ball here, so I'm ready to continue knitting this when I get my yarn. But that is the first stop for my scraps. If I have some leftovers after I've knitted this, I have started a granny stripe blanket, which I have been wanting to crochet for so long, because of I've seen Nitty Natty, Natalie crocheting this, and I've seen Kay the Crazy Sock Lady, she has crocheted this, and I really like how it looks, and it's perfect to use up scraps for. And I cast on 302 stitches, I think, and now I'm just crocheting on. So you see, it's really big. I want a big blanket, and I don't have a time frame for this. I'm just gonna put in my scraps when I have them. I love this. I think it's so much fun, and it's been so much fun crocheting again. I really didn't realize it, but I did miss crocheting. It's so meditative, and is that the right word? Meditative, something like that. It's so mindless. It's not a hard stitch. You can look up a tutorial for granny stripes and you will get a very yeah, there are so many good ones. I just looked up one of those to remind myself how I did it, and now I'm crocheting on, and it's no rush, it's no stress with it. I don't have to look at a pattern. It's just wonderful. I like it so much. So I'm excited to crochet more on this. I am using the crochet hook 3.5 millimeter needles, and that is the number E hook. But that is not the hook that I'm using. I cast on, yes, that is the hook that I'm using. I cast on with 4 millimeters, the hook G, but then I crochet with 3.5 millimeter needles. Fingering weight yarn. If I have scraps left from this granny stripes blanket, I put them into this magic knot ball that I've just started. So it's not much yet. And I just do a magic knot and I put it into this little ball of yarn, and I will just continue doing that for as long as I want to. And one day maybe this will be a granny stripe blanket, who knows. But I think it's very nice to do that, to just use up all of my scraps, even though they are just this big, and I can just put it into this and use it all. I really like that. So these are a few scraps. The little bit of scraps that I have left will go into this. I was hoping to share some yarn joy with you today, since I got the message that there was a package with yarn for me today, but sadly it's gone. I don't know where it is. So I have to show you that yarn if and when I get it. So there is no yarn joy today, and there are plans, but not plans, immediate plans. So I will talk more about it when I cast them on. But I am going on a trip in just a few days, and I'm so excited. I'm going on a knitting festival in Bergen called Strikkekraft. And if I translate Strikkekraft, it's knitting power, which is a great name for a knitting festival. I am going to take the bus and go from here to Oslo with bus. And in Oslo, I will meet up with 3 other Norwegian podcasters. 2 of them I met before and 1 I haven't. So that is exciting. And we are going to take the train together from Oslo to Bergen, over the mountain with the train. That will be really nice. And we are going to have this old-fashioned coupe. I don't know if it's called coupe in English, but it's like a little booth almost in the train that you can sit several people in. So we are 4 that are going to share this little booth in the train, and we can sit there and knit, only us 4, and yeah, just enjoy knitting and chatting. And yeah, I'm sure the hours will fly by when we sit together there. And in Bergen, we're going to stay with another podcaster. The 4 of us who are traveling together, we're meeting another podcaster. We're going to stay with her for a few days, and that will be so nice. And we are going to the Hillesvåg mill. This is Hillesvåg yarn, this unspun yarn, and they have so much other yarn there, and you can see the mill. We're going to get a tour, and it's going to be a podcaster meetup there. So I'm going to meet a lot of podcasters, some that I've met before and some that I haven't. So I'm very excited for that. And then there is the knitting festival this weekend. This knitting festival is actually started with a book project that there's this lady, Anne Bjørke. She is the mind behind this book, and this book is a knitting book, of course, where she has invited designers from Norway and abroad to be inspired by machine-knitted garments from a factory called the Girlander factory. That's on Osterøy, which is outside of Bergen. And they have made designs from these, or inspired by these machine-knitted garments. And this book will come in the fall. So this like knitting festival is just come out of this book project. So they met together and made this little festival. So there will be, of course, be a lot of hand dyers there and other people who sell knitting notions and stuff. And there will be seminars, and also there will be live podcasting. So there are 4 podcasters who's going to send live from this knitting festival this weekend. It will be in Norwegian, so I'm not sure how interesting it will be for you if you are not a Norwegian speaker or Swedish or Danish. But yeah, it will be on Saturday and on Sunday, live podcasts. Yeah, so I can link to the Strikkekraft Instagram below where it says when it will be live if you are interested to watch. Maybe because they're going to show from the festival as well, so there might be some footage that can be of interest even though you don't understand what they are saying. And I will also be a guest in one of those live podcasts, so that will be very fun. A little bit scary, but fun. I'm excited. Yes, so that is what I am doing in a few days, and I'm so excited. And there is going to be a lot of yarn joy the next time we talk together, I am sure, because I made myself a shopping list. Because if I don't, I get very overwhelmed when I come into a yarn shop or knitting festival. So I think it's good to have some thoughts about what I can get for projects that I want to knit in the future. Yeah, that will be fun. So maybe if I get the chance, I will make a little vlog that might come out before the next podcast episode. So if you're interested in that, it would be nice to hear. I think it's a lot of fun to watch other people that make vlogs from knitting festivals and trips they are going on. So that might be fun to try and do if I can get some nice footage for you while I'm on my trip. I think I will wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching, for spending some of your precious time together with me today. I've had a lot of fun talking about my knitting, so I really appreciate that you want to use some of your time with me. I hope you're well. I hope that you are knitting, crocheting, sewing on something fun. Take care of yourself and take care of the people around you. And I will talk to you maybe in a little vlog or in a new podcast episode in about 2 weeks. See you guys. Happy knitting. Bye.